Good evening from Bali, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, in this series of videos, I would like to talk about truth, because whether we look at things personally or professionally, truth is such an important detail. And of course, I wanted to talk about how it goes from stretching the truth in personal life to stretching the truth in professional life. And today I thought I'd start with this first quote by Confucius, which says, "Those who know the truth are not equal to those who love it. Those who know the truth are not equal to those who love it." And I can tell you, probably I'm both. I know and I love, and it doesn't mean that I'm always in that space. Sometimes I feel that I know the truth, but I don't, because the truth is vast. It's quite expansive, and for our human minds, it's often not so easy for the mind to understand full truth or authentic truth. And then, of course, when we do not, or if we suddenly discover an untruth, the mind will then go into a protective measure. So now if I've heard an untruth in one situation with one person, I wonder if the next thing that person says is an untruth, and that mind is changeable. And so speaking, when people are speaking untruths, and sometimes not even consciously aware that they are, that will also allow a little bit more, I'm going to call it flexibility, in what a person feels is truth. So again, someone might kind of hide something to protect the feelings of another. So it's not really full truth, but it's somewhat truth. So it's stretching the truth, because sometimes saying the full truth is not so easy for us to do on a personal level, for sure. So remember that the closer our relationships, the more we make a little bit of adjustment. And I love adaptability. But to know truth and to love truth, and then to be able to express it from a loving space, that's a very pure experience. And we can see again how people might do this in a personal life of not saying the full truth, or a really meaningful truth. Let's say a meaningful truth. It's not that anyone has to know your full truth or the full truth about everything, but some things that are very specific for our interactions with one another. Speaking truth consciously, or at least what we believe is consciously, does develop trust and respect, and definitely builds relationships, whether on a personal level or a professional level. And then I came across this quotation, which said, "There are certain persons for whom pure truth is a poison. There are certain persons for whom pure truth, capital T, is a poison." And you would think, who would possibly be in that situation where pure truth is a poison? If I look at someone has an intention to do something good, a partner tells their partner that, "Oh, I know you want me to work on that garden. I'm going to work on the garden, and I know you wanted these sorts of things planted, and we got all those bulbs, and I'll plant those things in." And the person planting decides, "So, you know what, there's not enough room for this, so I'm just going to not put it in." And when the partner asks, "So, did you do all the planting? That's great." "Yep, everything." That's not pure truth, right? So it's the person who has said, "This is what I'd really like," and the person who is planting, we're on a truth level of this is going to happen, but there's not pure truth. And on a personal level, oftentimes people will think that's okay if I didn't tell them this, and when things start growing, I'll say, "Oh, it just didn't grow," and that sort of idea. And we know this happens then professionally too. "So did you do this work?" "Yep." And I can think in my mind that, well, I definitely spent 5 minutes on it. Is it finished? No, it's not finished, but I did work on it. Or I could have worked on it for 45 minutes and not finished it, and I'm speaking truth. And it's like, you know what? I spent 45 minutes, and it's a lot of information that I'm putting in and gathering, and I'm working on it, and definitely will be done soon, but it's not done yet. Again, a person hearing that, yes, I'm working on it, by a person who's worked on it for 5 minutes, very different than the person who's worked on it for 45 minutes. Now, 45 minutes and 5 minutes in the same position at the same company, hearing the pure truth by the person who has worked on it for 5 minutes is good. This is Of course, according to the individual who is speaking, how much truth. Now, perhaps a manager looking at an employee is able to see that, well, it couldn't have been very much because you've only written one sentence and this other person has written a whole page full of a summary. So how much time did you spend? And finally the person says, oh yeah, I know, I only spent 5 minutes on it. And so oftentimes we have to dig. So even the person asking for the garden to be planted, unless they dig, was it everything? Did everything go in? Like every single thing that we picked up is in there now? Everything went in, there was enough room, it's all in the ground. Can you show me where everything is before it even comes up? Would require truth too, right? So, but do we have to go through that much questioning to get full truth? Because again, some of these things are so simple. And there's such a fear. The partner might feel, oh, the partner will be upset with me because they really liked every single plant that we got and I haven't planted everything. And the employees might be concerned that if I really say that I've only worked for 5 minutes, the boss is going to be not so happy and I might get a lecture and then I might have to work later, I'll have to do overtime, or this is going to go in my performance review. All of that goes on, and yet we just stick to the facts of truth. And if you're walking in truth, it will be very easy. If you're not, there will be all those other questions and reasons for I can justify not saying something because it's protective. I'm protecting the partner, but I'm also protecting myself. If I say that I've planted everything, I don't want to get in trouble. So then it comes back to me. I'm protecting me. The employee is protecting themselves. I'm protecting this office. I'm part of this team and I'm doing a little bit of work. And so I'm making sure that this doesn't become drama right now. Now I'm still protecting me. So understanding this from our individual levels, not to judge others, but to understand ourselves is really important. So when we say that this could be a poison, oh, certainly if the person who's worked for 45 minutes says the truth about the colleague, we know that the colleague could get in some trouble, or that the person who's worked for 45 minutes is going to get elevated a bit because, you know, I did 45 minutes, but I saw they were talking for the whole day and maybe 5 minutes they worked. What is that? Gossip. And it's not helpful even though it's truth. So this is a poison for the other person's job. So understanding this. Here in Bali, I'm noticing this quite a bit, that there are bits and pieces that are shared, and it's not specific to Bali. This is everywhere. This is human nature. When there's a fear of some reaction from speaking truth, there's often avoidance of it. And truth, yes, it's not always so pretty. I know, again, there's that line, you can't handle the truth, and it's true. It's a lot of people cannot, but some people become so comfortable with avoiding truth that then truth feels like a poison. That person was jeopardizing my job. So now even less good energies come from the same person who didn't speak full truth. I also came across this quotation that I wanted to mention. This one says, and this is something that I feel has been lost both on a personal level and a professional level. And this is, again, however you might think of divine energy, and you know that I feel that we all have divine energy, whether you call it God or the universe or source or anything, it's not really matter. But if we understand that essence is in with all of us, each of us, how many of us are working through that essence space? This one says, keep your heart pure. A pure heart is necessary to see God in each other. If you see God in each other, there is love for each other. Then there is peace. If I see God in the person who's worked for 5 minutes, I trust that the reason they worked on this for 5 minutes is because they don't have the capacity, the time, they've got too much on their plate, or in their minds, or in their heart, that it's not allowing them to work from there. And they've spoken an untruth. I see God in them, and I see that in this situation I don't have to share this untruth to make them feel not so good. I might ask them about it later, gently, kindly. I might ask the boss, the manager, is this person doing okay? I think that they're having not such a good day. Something, and out of true compassion and true heart space is a very different space. When we do that, we encourage peace with our companies. We encourage peace in our personal lives, and it goes from one to the other. If I get comfortable with not speaking truth in a professional situation, I will feel comfortable in a personal situation. If I feel comfortable in a personal situation, I will feel comfortable in a professional situation. And like I said, I'm seeing this quite a bit. I've seen it in Thailand, I've seen it in Bali, I've seen it in Canada. This is why I say that this is a human tendency, that the things that we don't like, I might get in trouble, there might be punishment for this, I avoid. And so then I avoid the truth. And we all have to do our own work to see, am I loving truth? Because if someone is speaking something not so true to me, I don't like it so much. Can I make sure that I speak truth in a gentle, loving way? And so then finally I wanted to end today's video, and I will speak a little bit more about truth in future videos too, for this series especially. This one is by Oscar Wilde, and I had posted this today. It says, "The pure and simple truth is rarely pure and simple." And it's again, no, actually I'm going to correct that. I'm sorry, I missed a word for you here. The pure and simple truth is rarely pure and never simple. And this is again never simple. Never simple. And yet the more we practice it, oh boy, it is simple. Yet because our minds have become so clouded by making things more and more complex, the pure and simple truth has been covered by all these layers of complexities and entanglements and judgments and opinions and unease, that when we come back to a pure space, which means that we need to work on ourselves to come to a pure space, to be able to speak pure and simple truth in a pure and simple way. Yet the pure and simple truth is rarely pure, because from this space people are often not working on themselves, so rarely pure and never simple. I think I'm pure if I go to a temple or a mosque or a church regularly. I'm pure. I'm pure because I try to be honest. In most situations I'm honest, so I'm pure. Not truth, right? That's not pure truth. So that's again rarely pure and never simple, because that never simple is going to say, because of this or because of that, it's going to find the reasons, which requires our intellect and our understanding of ourselves again. And that understanding is also a pure space. Today, I wish you a fantastic day or night, reflecting on these ideas about truth and how it really can be pure and simple, and how it is only our minds that have increased the complexity, not only about truth, but about wisdom, about love, about compassion. And today I hope you will reflect on that and practice each of these things from a pure space. I wish you a fantastic day or night, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.